this shit was. What is it? Team millionaire versus minimum wage workers.
Are working consistently and staying in the same place versus like, okay, my game plan is I'm going to work hard at this so that I can get to this position, which will take me to here, to here, to here. And I don't know, I think when you have the ability to conceptualize what that looks like for your long-term state, then that's where the working hard does lead to you being rich in several areas. But I think a lot of people are consistent in their work, but that doesn't mean they're actively trying to get out of being in the same financial position that they are.
And I feel like a lot of it has to do with risk. Like if you have this grand idea or you want to do this, you can do it, but it's going to take a lot of risk, and that's really scary for a lot of people. And you know, like if you want, like for me, I started multiple businesses, and when I did, I had to pour a huge chunk of money, and that's such a risk. Like for example, I bought a nail salon, and it failed. And I poured so much money into that, and then I just had to, all right, buy money, like throw it down the toilet. So it, you know, you have your wins, you have your losses. I've had my losses and I've had my wins, and that's just kind of how it goes.
No risk, no reward.
All right, bring in our disagreeers.
I feel like the statement that you made about like it's how bad you want it, I feel like I could say like, I mean, I know so many people that want to get out of like where they're at, and they want to so bad, but they can't, and it's just hard for them. And I mean, like immediately what comes to my mind is like my parents, and then that goes hand in hand with they became parents. They can't just stop doing what they're doing, you know. They can't, like my mom is a preschool teacher and my dad is a contractor, and my dad's the smartest person I know, my mom's the most driven person I know, and they both like could do so much more with what like they are, like the gifts that they've been given in life. And like I know they could work so much harder. They want it bad, like work like more than anybody else to be out of where they're at, but like they can't. Like it's just like they just can't stop. And like you're mentioning, you bought a nail salon and it tanked, and sorry to hear that.
Okay.
But like we don't, like our family wouldn't have had like the money to just let that fly out the window. Like
Well, that's a terrible excuse. Um, if your parents waited so long, and that's why I don't believe in any of these older guys. Because if you watch any of these older guys' videos, they always say, wait till you're older, you got all the time in the world. I don't believe in that shit at all. Well, it's nobody's fault that they waited so long to the point where they got a family and they got to sacrifice for the family and they can't follow their dreams. You cannot put that on nobody else. That's their fault. That's their decision that they made. This guy didn't waste no time. He took the risk like a crazy man, and he put it off. Now you're gonna get mad at these people who did not waste any time. And before they had a family, before they had a lot of responsibilities, they got to work. Or even if they did have a family, they still took the risk. You can't blame these guys who made it on the reason that your family is not in a better financial position. That's just crazy. They didn't want to take the risk, and now it's too late because they have a huge family to take care of, and that's fine. And no disrespect to your family, but that's their fault. You can't put that on nobody else because they didn't want to take the risk. That's their fault. And this the problem with people that I don't like. Um, they want to blame other people for their mistakes. And how are you mad? But when this guy took the risk and now he's successful, you're mad at him. You're comparing yourself. Oh, we can't do that because it would be such a huge risk to the family. And now you want to blame these people. You're mad at these people for taking the risk, but you was too scared to. You can't. That's why I don't like arguing with people about money because it be too personal to the point where they don't think clearly. And no disrespect to her, but what do the titles say? What do the titles say? A minimum wage workers. Okay, if you're a minimum wage worker, that means you have no skills. That means all you gotta do is get a skill. You can get a decent paying job. If you have a skill, Like, let's be honest. The average salary is 40K, but most people don't have a skill. They have a job. If everybody had a skill in a career, they could easily get 50 to 70K a year. If they had a career, and then they could level up and make more money. Okay, and even if they don't get rich, they can still have a good retirement plan to have 2 or 3 million. There's no excuses. There's people that come from other countries, immigrants that are being millionaires. I don't want to hear it. If you're not disabled, right? Yeah, there's a couple of exceptions. A couple of people, parents died when they was young, and they had to take care of the siblings. Yeah, there's a couple of exceptions, but most of y'all are not in that situation. Why are you working a minimum wage job? Get a skill. You could join the union for free, and every year you get a raise. Electricians, they could make up to 500K a year within their 10th to 12th year. There's no excuse. There's no excuses, man. So I'm just on business. Let me trying to say. You could get an entry level sales job and work up and and go far. Let's just play the video.
Take that risk because if they take that risk, we're done.
Yeah.
Like we don't
Yeah,
have that
for sure.
sort of like resource to be able to even jump into that.
Do you think that, to piggyback kind of off what you were saying, do you feel like your career and life being able to hit its absolute potential stops at having kids?
No, no. I'm just saying like that for like my parents specifically because they came to my mind and I was like what are things that are stopping them? And that's the fact that they're parents and that my mom's like is like a very nurturing like mother. Her number one goal is like she wants to see her kids succeed. So she'll never sacrifice herself. Yeah, she's never gonna like stop like caring for us so that she can do what she wants to do. Like she's sacrificing herself for us. And so
And that's good. And that's what happened with people that don't take the risk. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I wasted my life. I'm gonna make sure my kids don't do the same. That's fine. But you're working a minimum wage job. I don't know how old you are. What does it say? Teen millionaires. So let's guess. Hopefully everybody here is a teen, but they don't look like teens. But let's say everybody here is a teen. If everybody here is a teenager, which I don't believe, yeah, they're not teens. No way. No way. Nobody here should be having a minimum wage job. That's for felons. You're supposed to get a skill and get a certain paying job. That's how it works. If you want to waste your life, that's you.
like I talk to her all the time about like mom like you could do so much more like you can like she wants to like her little dream she's been up is she wants to like decorate cakes and stuff and like she's so good at it and she like has a little like folder of all these like ideas and I'm like do it like just do it but she can't because she works like every single day at school like she's a teacher she's there from like what is it like 6:37 a.m. to like 6 at night she's there at the school and she doesn't have really time to do that and then when she's not there like she's trying to help me or my brother and like it's just like that's her role and then my dad is
What does it take to face cancer with confidence? It takes an expert team that knows your cancer.
he like is working every single day all day.
Yeah. Do you think that somebody's absolute best period in their life to pursue their goals and dreams is before children or before marriage? Like, do you think it's when someone is one in themselves and doesn't, or just like for all of you, kind of that question?
I mean, I think it can like happen before you have children is seems to me to be a good time to really try to pursue because you don't have other things that you're
That's what I just said. That's exactly what I just said. And she's trying to put the blame on people that are successful, and not our fault that your parents didn't take you seriously. A lot of y'all party and have sex like crazy. I didn't do that. I was working 80 hours a week in high school as a sophomore, right? So when everybody graduates, or a couple years later after they graduate, and they all working jobs and They see me driving a Corvette. Am I fucked up, or am I a bad person? But none of them wanted to work in high school like I did. So I'm a bad person now, and that's what happened. They try to make you a bad person. They try to talk about you, make you look bad, or try to make you seem bad. But you took your life seriously when they didn't. And now when they're struggling, they want to blame you or hate you.
Worried about and like tying you down to like deal with. And like so like that's obviously like I want to get done with all of my schooling, get a job, everything before I get married, before I have kids, because that just seems like it's gonna hold me down. I'm like I can't like even think about doing that right now. But I mean there's obviously the cases where people get super successful after like that. I mean what, like 40s 50s wherever they're at, like, and they've already had like 3 or 4 kids, whatever. But I don't know, I don't really hear about too many people that have that many like young children that are really like successful. I feel like it can happen a lot before and maybe once they're out from under your wing.
I don't think that people are willing to take that risk when they have a child, especially because you're bringing an entire human being into the world.
Now this is gonna be special. I, by the way, I'm black, and what I'm about to say is about to be crazy. But a lot of black women always blaming people. So I really want to see what she say, because apparently every single black person is a victim. So I want to hear what she says, and I'm black, by the way. So whenever you hear my response, and it might be a little bit harsh, just know I'm black also, because I don't want to hear no racist in the comments, anything like that.
So, and it's just like you hear it from every person who's like a new parent or just like a parent in general, is that their entire mind and everything has changed. Their entire world has changed because they have this new human being, and of course they're not going to want to pursue something that is so rocky and like take a big risk when they have such a valuable asset. Not to call a child an asset, but you know what I mean. So I think it's just taking risks. People aren't going to take them as much.
It's kind of
when
like
they have children.
Because your failure is their failure in a sense.
Yeah, like you can completely ruin their entire life if you like really mess up. But I think the reason why I stayed back is because I think I have seen so many hard workers in my life and their work just not be propelled. I feel like a lot of people have luck on their side when they have success, and that doesn't necessarily, like when people take risks.
The Bible actually talks about this, and because a lot of people don't follow their dreams or passion, they do what everybody else do, and people like that always end up in these situations. Whatever your passion is, right? First of all, I don't believe nobody should be running blindly into their passion. I believe people should get a decent paying job and then invest into their passion. But there's a lot of people who just follow people, and they think they're gonna do the same as that other person. If this person is obsessed and he have a full passion for it, and in his head he know he's never stopping and he's gonna do this forever, he don't care about winning. But they always end up winning. But this person is just following behind these people because he see a lot of these people making money, or everybody who he or she know is doing it. So they follow these person, and then they don't end up where they want to be, even though they work hard. So that's what usually happens. I believe if something is not working within a couple of years, you should stop. You shouldn't be wasting your time. Within 1 or 2 years, if it's not working, you should stop. I say 2 years. You should stop and try something else.
There's always a bad outcome. Like I like am so thankful that you were able to share your story about your nail salon. Apologies, but there are more stories that don't get out like that, because there are so many like failed risks, and we don't hear those stories a lot. and those people can be the hardest worker you ever know, and their work just, doesn't take them anywhere.
I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people are stupid. Also, a lot of people are stupid. Also, if you're getting credit card debt, getting huge loans, borrowing from people, like if you look at every people, some people just take a very low risk every single day. There's a lot of people out here are very unintelligent. Yeah, I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of people are dumb. There's like you have to take smart. I'm not gonna get into it. I don't want to offend nobody.
I think it's important to remember though that some people's goal is to be a mom.
Right.
My mom, for instance, she loves being a mom. She'll do anything for her kids. I call her about the most minor inconveniences. And she's like, she said what? I'm on my way, you know? So it's like, I think for my mom specifically, she's not upset that she can't do both, that she can't chase her dreams and be a mom, because being a mom is her dream and it's enough for her. So I think it's not really a negative thing. My belief is like, it's not about working hard, it's about working strategically. And when I started and I was doing the events, that was working hard. It was a lot to stand up for 8 hours and continuously pitch to people, and it's tiring and it's exhausting, and that's working hard. But I had a cap on the amount of sales I could make because there's only a certain amount of people at the events that you can sell to. And so I thought, okay, let me try to work strategically. So I started a website so that I don't have to be limited to.
You see what I mean? There's people out here that are. I'm trying to say in a smart way. They're not as smart as their competitors. They're not as smart. Um, like every other person would just take the amount of sales that they can make in person, but she says, no, this is not enough. I'm gonna make a platform where they can see me, so I can make more than most people, and that's what she did. So she made she forced and she crafted it something that make her have more advantage than her competitors. So it's not difficult to see why she beat her competitors. This is why I tell people you have to make smart choices and smart risk. That's why I said some people are just they're not smart enough, I'm not saying they're dumb, but if you have a competitor like this who just constantly just outshining you and outplaying you, you can't compete. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody ain't made for it. No disrespect. I'm not calling nobody dumb, but there's people out here that just they're more unique and more creative with their strategies, and it's hard to beat them if you're not competing.
How many people I can reach, and that allowed my sales to grow. So I think like sometimes we think we need to work hard, work hard, work hard, but sometimes it's like you need to think of a strategy that will be able to push your sales or your clients.
Like for example, when I was in sales, I'm still in sales. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But if you ever talk to the top salesmen, they're always approaching people. They're always approaching people because the big deals don't come to you. Nobody gonna come to you saying I want to spend 500K. So you gotta pitch yourself to these guys and and force your way and make yourself more unique. You have to approach the big deals. This is why everybody that's a certain success has to have a little bit of risk taken in their blood. That's why I was telling that. That's why I was talking about that girl with the red thing on. That your parents should have been a little bit more riskier, not crazy, but a little bit more smart and a little bit more riskier. They would have been way better off.
Tell or whatever it is, so that you're not always working for 9 hours and being exhausted, and then you come home and you could have only made $100 from that day, you know. And I've seen a lot of people who work multiple jobs and they're exhausted, but they can only get paid a certain amount, you know, salary wise, and all those hours you put in doesn't necessarily get you to a millionaire status.
When I was in high school, my parents told me I couldn't get a job, and that was just like, it forced me to look for ways to make money outside of a job. So I did like everything you could think of in the book. Like I resold shoes and jewelry and clothes and Popeye's chicken sandwiches, like, just anything that you could think. I was doing everything. And then I'd be on YouTube and I'd look at like a social media marketing agency or drop shipping or trading or like whatever it was. And I never really quit, because I was like, I have to figure out a way for this to work, because I can't get a job. So in a weird way, I've never had a job in my life. I was just kind of thrown into business.
I've always struggled with losing weight, but I felt comfortable with hers. In a month, I've lost over 7 pounds.
Why didn't your parents want you to have a job?
Because my sisters, I'm about to expose them here, but they got jobs, and then, you know, like getting a job makes you feel like you have the sense of independence, and so they got super confident, and they were, I don't know, staying out late or like really distracted from school, hanging out more with friends, going out to eat a lot and spending the money. And I think our biggest control that our parents have on us is the financial provisions that they set for us, and they were able to kind of supersede that. So when it came to me, because I was the third daughter, they were like, yeah, Kelly, it's not happening.
That's so interesting. I was told the same thing. I was told that I couldn't get a job. I was like, I want to work at Cold Stone. And my mom was like, you're young. You should just focus on school. Yeah. And I wonder if there's a connection between entrepreneurs being told when they're young, like.
No, that never happened to me. It actually forced me to get a job, and I hated it. So I tried other ways to make money because I hated working so much. I think the reason why I hated working because I just didn't like people telling me what to do. I don't like a grown man yelling in my face telling me what to do at McDonald's. So I know I couldn't do this. But
Wait, don't get a job. I mean, your reasoning was different, but
yeah.
My mom was thinking, once you get a job, you're kind of entering into adulthood, and it kind of shifts your mentality of like,
yeah.
I have to get a job, I have to work, and she wanted me to have a little bit more time to decide what I wanted to do. So I wonder if you get a job when you're younger, if that kind of holds you back from chasing your dream.
Forces you to get used to the pattern. That's a really good.
Yeah. I was actually the exact same way. My dad's like, you're not allowed to have a job in high school because you need to focus on school and high school, and then after high school you can get a job. So what I did was literally I would make like bracelets and sell them to my classmates, to the point where I got in trouble at school for selling stuff at school, but I still made over like thousands of dollars just doing that, because I'm like, crazy. I've always had that business mentality in me, and I've always wanted to do that. So I'm like, all right, if you're not gonna let me work, I'm gonna work at school.
Yeah, I sold in school too. That's crazy.
Did you guys work jobs in high school?
Yeah, I was told as soon as I turned 14 I needed to make my own money. I was a babysitter. Oh. So that is like so crazy to hear. I've never experienced my parents ever telling me to not get a job. It has always been, oh, you're able to get a job, go get one. I started babysitting when I was 14. I started working at a restaurant when I was 16, and then went to college. Now that I'm in college, I work in the recreation department. I also caregive for disabled and elderly people, and so that's my current job. But my mom has always told me that I needed to get a job because I needed to understand the worth of a dollar, because I know a lot of people that their parents provide for them still in college, and they don't understand the worth of a dollar. They will just go and spend their money and do whatever they want, and it's like, whereas like I have to hold myself back from plans, hold myself back from things, because I have to like understand like that I can't be spending it because it's my money. It's not like I need to know because I'm saving up to pay to go to school. Like I have to put my money in certain places, and my mom's always like, well, I applaud you because now you're like financially smart, like you know what money means and like stuff like that. And I've never had a break. When I was a junior and senior in high school, I didn't have a single day of where I didn't either go to school or go to work. Yeah. So that's just where I'm at.
That sounds kind of exhausting.
It is exhausting.
So we're gonna reset.
Hey, before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks so much to Straight Arrow News for powering the fact checks in this video. Straight Arrow News is an app and website that is on a mission to read the news.
We live in an internet era where everyone deals with the art of comparison, and everyone kind of wants something so easily because of the fact that we see other.
Our next prompt is, Gen Z expects higher pay than they deserve. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Nobody else? We live in an internet era where everyone deals with the art of comparison, and everyone kind of wants something so easily because of the fact that we see other people getting it so easy. You see somebody post something and it goes viral overnight, and whether or not they had a product, that either leads to them getting a lot of followers, and then once they get a lot of followers, it'll also lead to them getting a lot of sales, or vice versa.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my input in. Yeah, that's the reason why you see a lot of people be complaining about their jobs. It's all because of Instagram. If they wasn't seeing these people living a certain type of life, they would not be complaining about their job. But these people work for what they got. That's the difference. I I don't want to see people. Why is it that everybody that complain is people that put food in the bag, people that stack shelves, and the people that are doing crazy things out here, right? Like making medicine, like people that's providing shelter. They're building apartment buildings. People always compare their lives to somebody else, but they're not doing what that person is doing. Okay, these guys make buildings, right? These guys, like it's a lot. It's a lot of things. It doesn't make any sense because what you're doing versus the person you're watching is two different things. Like an ad agency, they're marketing for companies and they're bringing the companies a lot of profit and they get a percentage of it. Okay, you can't be mad because you're working at Taco Bell and you see this guy in a Lambo. You can't get mad. You can't get mad. You don't do the same thing that he do, but you feel like you deserve what he have, and you mad at your job. It doesn't work like that. So Instagram it ruins people's. But that's just how humans are. They always want what somebody. They always want something that they don't deserve. They always want more.
So what happens is you get a lot of people who have become so social media enthralled that they don't put enough time into actually doing what they want to do. They spend a lot of time in like analysis paralysis, which is like, I want to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, but they never actually do it. And that's kind of how it works. So they place their values.
High school, so it's a big range of people, and the younger people I always have to fire them, and not because I want to, because a lot steal. Like, I don't know, but a lot of people my age have stolen thousands of dollars from the cash register, and I'm like, damn, what the hell? Like, that's crazy.
That's a lot.
And so I have to fire you. I don't like firing people, but I have to. And then even if it's not stealing, it's like, I'm sick today. I'm sick today. Okay, you're sick every day? Like, you don't even want to work here, you know? And so that's just like my personal experiences when I hire people like of that generation. It's just either calling in sick, don't want to work, well, do you even want this job? Or, oh, you're taking advantage of the job, and then you're stealing from me. So all the people I employ right now, I do employ one great younger, but everyone else is older.
And we hear like social media, maybe the comparing your lifestyle to others. Do you think that's what it is, or is there other things you've observed?
I don't genuinely know. I feel like it is a lot of social media. You want more. But I feel like it also has to do a lot with parenting. Like, you can just live at home and it's fine. And that's what a lot of my employees are like. The younger ones, like they're still taken care of, so they don't really have a reason to be there.
Yeah, I also think I I don't know. I feel the reason I place a lot of the blame on social media is because people's attention spans have drastically decreased. Where if we go back to like our parents' age, they would wake up and they would work all day because that's kind of all they had to do, right? But they had their times very planned out. They had to do something, they do it immediately. Procrastination wasn't as such a high level as it is now. But now with so many distractions in place, people work for 1 to 2 hours and then they're no longer stimulated. They get kind of bored. They don't really want to do it. Like that just need for hard work is just not there unless they're constantly being motivated.
The work's also often being done like on a phone or a computer.
Yeah, true.
So it's like a very distracting environment.
I changed my mind.
Why'd you change your mind?
As you guys were talking, I started to think about people who I've hired, like work for hire type things, and I have noticed that their pricing will be ridiculously high, but I'll take a chance on them because I'm like, okay, you value yourself, and I believe in people like pricing at their value. But then a lot of the times I find myself disappointed with the product that I receive, and I'm like, you kind of overpromised and underdelivered. And I think that's because, like, I hate to say it because I'm a part of Gen Z, but I think it's because we are missing the grind time, the part where you like put your head down and you work on your skills. And I also believe in like,
Yeah. I don't believe in handouts either. I don't believe in handouts. Yeah, people don't want to work hard. It takes the average person to get rich.